Yeah, you heard that. Big laughs, real talk. We gonna turn up. Welcome to the show. Chummy talks too much. Hey, 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 hey.
A lot of you know my story or parts and pieces of my story of how I lost out on a lot of things, how I lost my mom after just dropping out of varsity, how I built something from nothing. And I think there were moments where I thought I was really falling behind. But now I realize those were moments where God was actually teaching me something. And you're just there and you're like, God, am I a potato? And I'm just trying to understand my purpose. I don't even have direction. But I think one of the truths that I'm learning is that, everyone is actually figuring themselves out. Everyone is actually figuring out their purpose. Whatnot. I don't want to downplay this, but I'm probably not where I'm supposed to be, where I want to be, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I think that's all that matters. And I'm just learning at my own pace. I do so much on a day-to-day basis. I think you guys know this. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Chummy Talks Too Much, and I'm your boy Eddie Muffinz. I hope you guys have been well and amazing. It's been quite a productive week this week, and I hope you guys had yourselves a productive one too. But today we're talking everything about turning 27, learning how to be still, and learning how to maneuver your 20s without really losing your mind. But today, since we have a new mic, congratulations to us. Wow. Since we have a new mic, I think we're switching things up a bit today. Because I just turned the big 27. But congratulations to me for surviving yet another incredible year. We love growth here, we love maturity, and I just think it's so crazy, man. Especially looking at me, I think I still look so young. I feel young sometimes and I act young sometimes, and I just think, this can't be 27. I can't be looking this young. I don't know, maybe I'm aging like fine wine. But who knows? Because honestly, I just feel like I'm still 21. I don't want to lie. But I think 27 feels very different. It feels a bit heavier. I don't think I feel older. I just think it's a bit heavier. Because at 22, confusion looks very cutesy on the surface. But at 27, it starts asking you questions. All your excuses start expiring. You can't hide behind the I'm still young anymore. You can't hide behind the one day I'll without really questioning when is that day gonna actually come. But before we move right along, there are a couple of tweets that kind of made me pause and reflect this week. And one has to be by Blue W Mist. They tweeted, essentially your 20s is just understanding that you can't plan your way through life like you think. It's a long unlearning that control and staying the same isn't the key, but the ability to constantly evolve through changes. Beautiful. Then at Lush_Beauty1 quoted Butle's question. Butle's question was, what's the hard truth you've learned about your 20s? And Lush Beauty answered, losing friends, facing failure, watching your parents age, worrying about being alone forever, rediscovering childhood hobbies, quitting terrible jobs, learning how to say no, moving back home, identity crisis out of nowhere, losing yourself, then finding your way back. Shoo! Lush Beauty said a mouthful right there. And I think I resonate with every bit of what she said, because I think your 20s are so chaotic, man. And but I think one of my favorite tweets this week has to be by it's Haysan. I hope I'm not butchering your name. But it says, my biggest goal in life is to live at ease. I want to wake up and go to sleep with the calmest nervous system. Yo, Samuel, should have been me, could have been me. I felt that at the core of my soul because, like I said, your 20s are so chaotic and everyone is just building, creating, and chasing the bag and trying to prove themselves to the world and to themselves. And there we are, some of us, just trying to figure out who we really are at 27. That's crazy business, right? But sometimes you just look around your life and you just think, am I really going somewhere? Or I'm just stuck in one place? Am I really behind? Or I'm just living in the moment and just enjoying every bit of it. But before we get deeper, I think let's talk about some of the shows that I watched this week. So Bridgerton season 4 came out, and man, oh man, I think I enjoyed it thoroughly. I enjoyed every minute of it. I even made a TikTok the other day talking about how Bridgerton men, they don't actually flirt, they kneel and they declare war on their hearts, But my favorite scene on the season, I think it has to be Benedict's monologue when he was proclaiming his love for Sophie. And I think I want to read it here because it's one of the most beautiful monologues. And yeah, I'll just read parts and pieces of it. He said, "I've had every qualm you've raised about being with me, and I wish there was some other way for us to be together. But the thought of spending a single day without you torments my soul. I love you, Sophie. You have taken possession of me, shot me back to life." I wish I could say it in the same enthusiasm and same energy, because that monologue, it made me reflect a lot, especially about love in my 20s, because I'm really tired of talking stages. I'm just at a time and age where I don't have capacity for that anymore. I think the next person I am meeting or the next person I'm dating, we're going straight into marriage. Like, as Dalila, we don't play. We're not playing that game. But yeah, it really made me reflect a lot on what I want love to look like, the kind of partner that I imagine a future with. And honestly, it just made, I think Bridgerton made my standards high. And 2010 and turning 27, I think I have different expectations of what love is and what it looks like and what it means for me. That was a very beautiful season. I'm not going to lie. I think it's one of the Bridgerton seasons that I actually enjoyed thoroughly. But yeah, man, I think turning 27 has been quite interesting for me. And I think it's not even because, there was some kind of magic that happened. It's because I'm finally understanding something that I've been resisting. And that has to be stillness. That Bible verse, "Be still and know that I'm God." I think it's the stillness that I've been resisting more than anything. Because growing up, nobody actually teaches you how to be still. They will only teach you how to chase success, how to chase money, how to chase validation, how to chase all the achievements in the world, but nobody will actually teach you how to be still. But sometimes I think life sits you down and says, "Bona, you gotta relax now. You gotta breathe. You gotta listen." Okay? And it's not even up for debate anymore. I think a lot of you know my story, or parts and pieces of my story, of how I lost out on a lot of things. How I lost my mom after just dropping out of varsity. How I built something from nothing. And I think there were moments where I thought I was really falling behind. But now I realize those were moments where God was actually teaching me something. That He doesn't always rush you. Sometimes He will just sit with you in all that mess. And that's quite uncomfortable, because I'm looking for answers. I'm trying to understand the season I'm in. That I just lost my mom. I just dropped out of varsity and I'm just losing my mom. I'm trying to find answers and I'm trying to make sense of the situation at hand. And I realized that, sometimes we want solutions from God, but sometimes the lesson is just Him being present in our lives. And I'm not going to lie, God showed up in such a huge way in my life. I'm not going to lie. Guys, if you don't believe God exists, I saw it with my own eyes, and that's on you. But I think I've had a couple of encounters with Him, especially during this season, where I lost out on so much. I lost out on an opportunity to have a stable life. I lost out on the most integral part of my life, which is my mother. I mean, I just feel like my childhood is such a scam. But more than anything, I think God has been my anchor so much in this season, and I don't know how, but God. So I think one of the hardest parts about our 20s is comparison. Comparison is the one thing that will eventually ruin everything. Because on a day-to-day basis, I mean, especially our generation, we live on social media. Social media is our life, and we scroll all the time, and suddenly everyone is so successful, traveling the world, building empires, getting married, buying houses, and you're just there and you're like, God, am I a potato? And I'm just trying to understand my purpose. I don't even have direction. But I think one of the truths that I'm learning is that, everyone is actually figuring themselves out. Everyone is actually figuring out their purpose, what they want out of this life. And some people are just better at hiding it. And to me, I think we have reached the end of our episode. I think that was so short. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? But yeah, I'll try by all means necessary to put in the work, but I think I did all I could. But I want to ask you something before we end this episode, Chami. Do you feel like you're behind in life, or do you feel you're just learning at your own pace? Because maybe what really feels like delay is actually preparation. So my question today is, do you really feel like you're behind in life, or do you just feel like you're learning at your own pace? Because honestly, if I were to answer that, I think I'm learning at my own pace, and sometimes I rush myself. I put so much pressure on myself, and I forget that I'm one person with one brain, with one God, with the source, with my source, my anchor, my father, my God, my everything. You understand? But sometimes I tend to forget that there's only one me. Do you understand? Like, for instance, now I'm so much into my creativity, but not into my productivity. This is why this episode took me so long. And I just wanted to get it out there because now it's been so long. I actually wanted to post this podcast episode right after my birthday, but I just got into some, we'll talk about that the other time. But I think I tend to forget that I'm only one person. But I think if I was to answer the question, do I really feel like I'm behind in life? I don't think I'm behind. I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I'm just learning at my own pace. Maybe it's taking me a bit more time, but maybe it's also very important and of paramount importance because great things, they take time, Great things, they take time. We live in a time that is so fast paced and everyone is literally everywhere, trying to get the bag and, but I think, some people have that lack of, pivoting earlier. Do you understand? And not necessarily putting in enough work, to kind of get there. And I think with me, I've realized that, I have to work hard for everything that I I've achieved. Yeah, I've had to, even to get to this point, guys. I know I'm probably not, I don't want to downplay this, but I'm probably not where I'm supposed to be, where I want to be, but I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I think that's all that matters. And I'm just learning at my own pace. I do so much on a day-to-day basis. I think you guys know this. And yeah, man. I don't want to spread myself too thin, but also I don't want to put a lot of pressure on myself, because I don't have systems. Do you understand? I'm doing the most of all that I have now. I just bought a mic. I mean, I think that is a very beautiful transition. Is it a transition? Or is it because yes, guys. I don't know. I think I haven't been reading the Bible for quite some time, but yeah. Buying the mic was kind of like one of my, what do you guys say? What do you guys call it? Big boy purchases. Yeah, it's one of my big boy purchases, and I think it's one step that leads me to the next and whatever, and to get a bit of inspiration. And yeah, man, I think it's going to be amazing. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode with us. It's been great. It's been amazing. I love you, but God loves you more. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in into this episode. Love you loads. See you next time, my charmy. Love you.